Buster Posey is back, and with him comes some optimism for a possible winning season in 2021. Posey is a reminder of the past, of the 3 World Series. But these are not those Giants. Even Posey, with a hefty team option in 2022, realizes this could be it.
Yeah, sure. It's gone through my mind. I think for me, my biggest goal this year is to really just go, as cliche as it is, just go one day at a time.
Posey is not alone. The other reminders of that bygone era, Brandon Crawford and Brandon Belt, are in the final years of their contracts. Simply put, the Giants are a team in transition.
Our job is to set high expectations for ourselves.
With big money coming off the books after this season, the Giants have focused on incremental improvements. Infielder Tommy La Stella got a 3-year deal worth $18.75 million. Aaron Sanchez got a 1-year, $4 million contract to fill out the starting rotation, which now looks like this: Kevin Gausman, Johnny Cueto, Alex Wood, Anthony DeSclafani, and Aaron Sanchez.
You know, I'm excited to see them all pitch. You know, I got to see them pitch in Cincinnati and kind of know what to expect.
Mike Yastrzemski leads the Giant outfield in right, with Mauricio Dubon likely in center field and Alex Dickerson in left. Not a lot of star power here, but it's an outfield that ranked 5th in the majors last year with an .815 OPS.
It is out of here!
The infield is the veteran presence on this team. Longoria at third, Crawford at short, La Stella and Solano at second base, Belt at first, and Posey back behind the dish. One interesting under-the-radar signing: if catcher Kirk Casale backs up Posey, it likely means Joey Bart goes to AAA.
I'm excited for the year, you know, whatever happens. So all together, I'm just coming, you know, more focused, you know, with a little bit of experience now of what to expect. And you know, as soon as we get out of the gate, try to put the foot down and get going.
Giants fans, if you're expecting a run to the playoffs, you're in the wrong division. The Giants are focused on the future, with a chance for fans to say goodbye to the past.
I thought today was a productive day. It was a happy day.
Joining us now is Kerry Crowley, Bay Area News Scoop, Giants beat writer. And Kerry, what's the access to the Giants right now for you?
Well, right now, everything is done over Zoom. But, Dennis, I've reported to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm proud to say that tomorrow, Monday, will be the first day that reporters are allowed inside Scottsdale Stadium, as it's the first Giants full team workout of the spring, albeit all spring training Cactus League games the Giants are having. And so while it'll be interesting to see these players out on the field about 50 yards away from me and then to Zoom with them afterward, that's the access right now.
What is the realistic goal for 2021?
Well, I put Farhan Zaidi on the spot 2 days after the 2020 regular season ended, and I did so 2 days before the Giants came down to Scottsdale to open spring training workouts, and both times he said it's the playoffs, and the Giants are realistic about their path to getting there. They're probably not going to win the National League West, with the Dodgers and the Padres being 2 of the top juggernauts in all of baseball, but they do think that that second wild card spot in the National League is something that is attainable right now and would be a sign of steady progress. And what's that going to take? 85 to 87 wins, somewhere in that range. And then hopefully for the Giants, a couple of National League East teams like the Braves and the Nationals faltering. And obviously the odds aren't great, but that's what they're looking at right now as their biggest reach and stretch at the outset of spring training.
Are we seeing the last of Posey, Crawford, and Belt as San Francisco Giants?
Well, Dennis, I think that that's how we have to build this season, because all 3 players are entering the final year of their respective contracts. But you look at this core moving forward, and all 3 kind of do fit the 2022 roster if the Giants wanted to bring them back moving forward. You know, Buster Posey could be a part-time catcher and help Joey Bart usher in the next era of Giants baseball at the catcher position. He could play some first base and DH. There's no first baseman in the prospect pipeline ready to unseat Brandon Belt. And then if Brandon Crawford, who will be 34, 35 years old next offseason, wants to come back and, again, be a part-time platoon player, help out as a defensive replacement in the late innings, there could be a path for him to being on the roster. I don't think it's likely that all 3 players will be back next season, Dennis, but I do think probably at least one of them will.
With Posey back behind the plate and Kirk Casale now on the roster, Does that mean Joey Bart starts the season in Sacramento?
Well, I've got good news for Sacramento River Cats fans. Their team is going to be good this season, and Joey Bart is going to be an anchor, at least early in the year. Joey Bart obviously has a lot of work to do at the plate, has to cut down on the swing and miss, has to cut down on chasing outside of the strike zone. But Sacramento River Cats fans should see that power on display, and they really should see an opportunity for a prospect to come into his own and prove that he can help lead this next generation of Giants.
What can you expect from this rotation?
Well, I'm calling it the boom or bust rotation because there's so many different things that can happen this year. The Giants are counting on 3 or 4 pitchers who really didn't pitch at all or really struggled mightily in 2020 to lead this rotation this season, Dennis. And so it's kind of an arduous task. It's a monumental challenge for them to scrap together a 5-man rotation. There's a lot of reason for optimism, but if it doesn't pan out for some of these guys, then you'll start to see the younger players, Logan Webb, Tyler Beatty, Sean Jelly, come up and get the opportunities that would have gone to the veteran starters.
Outfield, is it true that the Giants will have their 14th different starting left fielder since Barry Bonds left?
As long as Seattle Mariners opening day starter Marco Gonzalez makes it through spring training healthy, yes, they will, Dennis. It's the best piece of trivia. You go back to 2008, that's when it started. Dave Roberts, who's in his 6th season as Dodgers manager, was their opening day left fielder. Connor Joe was a left fielder. Murray Aoki. I mean, the names on this list are incredible, and it appears as though Austin Slater, Darren Ruff, or maybe even Jalen Davis will add to that trivia collection, add to that list, and become the 14th different opening day left fielder since Bonds.
Gabe Kapler, what will you give him as a grade as a manager?
Well, last season was tough, probably a B, and I think that many Giants fans would probably think that the grade should be lower because they weren't thrilled with his bullpen management. But I would point to the second half of the season and say they had the best bullpen ERA in Major League Baseball, and it really wasn't particularly close. They were that good. You know, they had career years from Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford. No one saw that coming. Mike Yastrzemski went from a really nice feel-good story to a bona fide middle-of-the-order hitter who was a National League MVP vote getter. And so I think that there were so many positives. Obviously, missing out on a postseason berth that was very attainable is the big negative. And so maybe if you want to grade that down to a B-, there's plenty of room to grow. But defining success is difficult for Giants fans because, you know, they've been spoiled with 3 World Series in the past 11 years. And so when a team finishes under 500, it's hard to consider that a success. But from where they were expected to finish to where they got and where they did finish, it really was an impressive achievement. And they'll need to continue ascending and finish above 500 this season.
Well, say goodbye. Give me the number of wins the Giants will have in 2021, Kerry.
Oh, this is tough. I go back and forth each time I'm asked between 80 and 82. It's either going to be their 5th consecutive losing season with an 80 and 82 record, or they'll break that streak and go 82 and 80.